You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome back to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the BQN Podcast Collective. I'm your host for today, Thad, and joining me as always is my co-host, Chrissie. How are you today?
I have some hope for the future, even though things seem kind of bad right now. And I think as time moves forward, this new generation is going to just take care of business. How are you?
I feel like I'm getting pulled together like a origami chicken. I don't even know what that means, but that's how I feel.
I'm still trying to figure that one out. I hope we get a clue someday that wasn't just random.
Also joining us today is Abby Sommer of the First Flight podcast. Abby, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Oh, always. It is such a joy to get to talk Trek with you and looking for those teachable moments.
Mm-hmm.
Before we jump into our topic for the day, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly associate producers Carl Wonders and Christie De Clerck-Szilagyi. Listeners, you can hear your name listed as one of our associate producers for a monthly subscription of just $10. And your subscription of any amount at patreon.com/BQN keeps all of the shows on the network ad-free. Alright, so it has been, a minute since we were last here. Trying to think what Star Trek related news there's been. Not a lot, because it seems things are kind of in a holding pattern at Paramount since the Skydance acquisition. But I did see that based on interviews from the premiere of Academy that Alex Kurtzman doesn't seem to think it's a foregone conclusion that he's out at the end of his contract. So that's
okay.
A hopeful look here. He seems very hopeful that he will be making more Star Trek shows. So we'll see.
Yeah, when he was asked that, do you think this will be the last Star Trek show that you launch? He just simply said no. And you don't really say something that simple and that definitive if you don't have some hope. So
because other creatives would always couch their language with like, well, we hope and maybe. So yeah, I think it seems like the relationship that Kurtzman and his production company Secret High have with Paramount still seems to be a good one.
Yeah.
So even though we know his contract is, I think it's the end of this year, or is it next year?
The end of this year.
The end of this year was up. That doesn't mean that it won't be either renewed or continued in some other way. So hopefully we'll get some news about more Star Trek other than the next season of Academy and the next 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. Well, they keep hyping that they want to do a movie, so we'll see what comes out of that.
Oh yeah, there has been news about possible Star Trek movie, but honestly, I'm not... until we have something definitive, if I have, images from a set where they're filming it, I don't know that I believe it.
That's where I'm at too.
That's it. This is this year, 2026 is the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. I would imagine they're probably planning some sort of announcement in regards to that. So
probably. I would say probably in the fall, or at one of the big Comic-Cons.
At the actual anniversary.
Yeah.
Yep, I think so. I think they need to get their ducks in a row a little bit more. There's been so much corporate shenanigans going on and still many things being attempted that I would be surprised if they had anything set enough to announce for First Contact Day, but yeah.
They've also basically ignored First Contact Day the last few years.
Yeah. We'll keep the spirit alive. We don't need any stinking Paramount.
They're involved in the whole Warner Netflix trying to buy each other thing.
They were trying. They submitted a bid that was rejected, and then they tried to do a hostile takeover that didn't work.
Right.
So I think they're out on that one, unless like something drastic happens.
Okay.
Netflix had a better bid for Warner than Paramount did.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So I would imagine it looks like that's the one that's probably going to go through. Of course, that means that there's a whole lot of hoops they have to jump through before that happens. So it could be, if that doesn't get approved, then maybe there would be a Paramount thing, and all the things that they've done to try to stay in the good graces Paramount has been doing to stay in the good graces of the current administration may work out for them in that case.
Yeah.
And that's as much as I'm going to talk about that.
Yep.
We did get casting for
McCoy and Sulu.
Yes, that's right.
Because you bought a Strange New Worlds. I'm not familiar with either of these actors. I've heard
Thomas
good things.
Jane, I knew from The Expanse.
The Expanse.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
And I liked him. And the new guy playing Sulu looks astoundingly like wow, they could be long lost family members. So, yeah.
I like that they said that they'll be showing up at the very end rather than being in like a whole season.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say they weren't in the rest of the season, but they said you will see them in the finale of season 5. So that means if they show up earlier than that, fine. But don't be expecting it and don't be waiting. Love the people who are in this show now, because you're not going to get some of them afterwards. At least, probably not.
No.
Yeah. We're not sure for some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about them having something to announce for the 60th anniversary, a pickup reboot of the original series starting after Strange New Worlds is over would be a hell of a thing.
That would be an announcement to have. Wow, could you imagine the ripple effects?
Mm-hmm.
And if you had Shatner and Paul Wesley there at the same time, that could be like, there might be a portal might form there into an alternate universe. But
I mean, I have seen Shatner and Paul Wesley on stage together in Vegas.
See, so it could happen.
Mm-hmm. I would feel bad for the Kelvin crew cast, though.
That's true.
Well, maybe they'll bring Chris Pine out too.
Sure, why not?
I mean, they did say they always wanted to come back.
Yeah,
given the opportunity.
Maybe that's the new movie. It'll be a three timeline Kirk, all good things sort of thing, and it'll have Shatner, Paul Wesley, and Chris Pine in it,
and the guy who did the Otoy thing, right? Unification.
Oh yeah,
and didn't talk, but would just stand there and make Kirk faces in the background.
This is reminding me of that Q comic where they had all the different.
Oh yeah.
They all came together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the 60th gave us that bumper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The bumper that remembered.
Go back to the outline. There you go.
Hey, I've done this a few times,
It remembered Enterprise exists, but I love all the comments on the internet. It's just where's this ship? Where's that ship? Where's this?
Would you like to be
what do
there?
They want?
And if your favorite ship isn't in there, try being an Enterprise fan for the past 20 plus years. Every single thing that comes out, you get a nod from T'Pol or Archer somewhere in life. So yeah. And you know what? They didn't put the ships that were already animated that we've seen in there. Yes, I get that. They're not a knock to animation. How fun to see some of the other ones. It's beautiful. They honored it. The music is cool. It's not one I ever want to skip through. My girls did wish the koala was in it because they always now wish for the koala. But that's just fan service.
I mean, the koala is technically always there, whether you can see them or not.
I know.
It's on the footprints. Oh.
Sometimes my footprints have little claws on them. What's that?
why my face hurts when we're done recording every single time.
So, like, yeah.
That's a good problem.
For, like, they made the bumper the same length as the regular bumper that they had been doing. And there's only so many ships. The other complaint that is a valid point is that Voyager's nacelles should be up since they're traveling at warp.
Okay. Yeah, come on now.
But I feel that Voyager with the nacelles down is the more immediately recognizable as Voyager. Like, so. And my favorite part are the people that are trying to, like, specifically explain exactly, like, other than these are just the ships they chose. There are some people that are trying to, like, come up with a specific rule. Well, they chose all the ships that meet this criteria, and the problem is there is no specific criteria you can go with that all those ships fall into that no other ships do. So it's just they chose these ships.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, someone was trying to say, well, they didn't include the Enterprise E or the Titan or all those because they don't lead a show for an entire run. I'm like, well, neither does the Enterprise A or the Defiant, but they're there. So
you could make that argument for the Defiant, but yeah.
Trekkies are overanalyzing something to death. More at 11.
Yeah, I know, right? And honestly, it's beautiful, and whoever made it, thank you, and whoever made the decisions and put tips, don't feel like a few people who are feeling all salty because their favorite thing isn't there. I mean, it's beautiful. Thank you for honoring something that is 6 decades on. Whoever you are out there that made this final choice, you did good. We appreciate it.
I'm hoping this gets tacked onto the older shows now, so that when we
I hope so.
DS9 or Next Gen.
Rather than this one tacked onto the older shows, I want them to do because the regular one, like the one they've been doing before the 60th. I like how they're doing this for the 60th, but I want them to do one with Enterprise D for every TNG episode, that sort of thing. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be nice. I've been asking for that since they started doing this, and now they have some of the animation, so maybe they will. But I can't imagine that would have been that difficult, time-consuming, or expensive of a project, but far be it for me to tell Paramount what to do.
Well, they're not going to listen anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
I think my favorite comment about all of this was somebody who was going on very sarcastically complaining that they didn't include Captain Ransom's ship. I can't think of what it's called. The Excalibur.
Equinox.
Yeah.
Equinox, excuse me.
Oh, no, you're I saw somebody complaining Excalibur was
Excalibur,
from the New Frontier books is the Excalibur. Yes,
yeah, it was Excalibur. It's not Ransom. Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Mackenzie Calhoun's ship.
The Calhoun. Why did I say Ransom? Okay, whatever. Yeah, the Excaliburs. I was like, yep, that's beautiful.
Or why isn't Vanguard stationed there?
Exactly.
Why don't we just have a bumper that's as long as the whole show, and then we'll be good to go? No one will ever skip it.
I need that Daedalus class ship from the Starfleet Corps of Engineers books.
And every version of a shuttle pod that we've ever seen, because those are really important and things happen there.
And something that I had said online was, well, it could be worse. They could have included the ship from Section 31 and reminded us all that still exists.
Yes, I did appreciate your comment on that.
This is a much better January for Trek than last year was. We'll just put it that way.
So let's talk about that for a second. Obviously, other news, we had the premiere of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, and in my opinion, the response to this has been more positive than almost any other Star Trek premiere in a long time. Even if you go on Reddit, which is notorious for
hating everything,
Reddit, the mega thread, as they call it, where everyone posts their responses to a specific episode, is more positive than negative, and that almost never happens. And I think part of it is that people tempered their expectations. There were a lot of people like, well, I'm probably not going to like this one, but I'll give it a shot. And then they watch it and they're like, oh, this is great. I think that's part of it. But I think also it's really good.
It is.
And you know what's interesting is that it's not just the us who are noticing this. Like, I don't know if there's a bunch of marketing that I don't see because I'm not the age bracket that they're aiming it at or whatever. But like, multiple people in my life that are not who I would consider like the Trek nerds, just like Star Trek, have come up to me to talk to me about this already. Like the dad of a kid who I stand by at parent pickup at school after when I go get my girls, he's like, "Hey, you watched that new Academy yet?" And I'm like, "Dude, you don't understand how deep in I am." Yes, but he wanted to talk to me about it because he's watched it. My dad, who's the one who got me into Trek, but usually waits to binge things because that's how he is now, watched the first two and wanted to talk about it. Somebody out, in the rest of you saw I had an IDIC pin on my shirt and wanted to say, "Hey, you've been watching that Academy?" And that was someone younger than me. So like they're really putting this out there in a different way that's hitting the people that aren't us who are analyzing every crumb. And that was something I haven't seen for the other ones, whether it be for adults, kids, or betweens. Like, yeah. So that was really cool and really completely organic. And I'm just like, wow, thanks, universe. Yes, I do want to talk to normal people about Star Trek as well.
Don't scare the normies.
Yeah. I just hope this continues, and and that this helps keep the franchise going.
Agreed. And I like how, for those of us who know all the backstory and, the burn is not a mystery and all that jazz, they're giving the background information that you need to understand in very natural and small chunks, that it doesn't feel like you're just being hit over the head with exposition and lore. But at the same time, if you don't catch some of the things that we catch, it's not at all taking away from the show. And that's a hard balance to find, but this show has really done a good job with doing that so far.
Yeah, if you've never seen Discovery, they give you enough information in this that you can watch it without that. Obviously, your experience is enriched by knowing what happened in Discovery and knowing these characters, but yeah, you can just go straight to this, which is, I mean, obviously they want to do that because they know the idea is to pick up a different audience, but yeah, I think that.
Well, I think the fact that they put the first episode completely for free on YouTube right away too was really important, because that reached people who aren't necessarily going to try the show if they have to go sign up for something new, but if they can check it out and see it and get the flavor, then they might go looking for it in other ways. So
I think they did that with Picard and Strange New Worlds as well. Actually,
they did, but it wasn't as fast. Like it wasn't same day. It was either the next day, or like if it dropped on a Thursday, they'd put it up on Sunday or something, so that they wanted the people to watch it on the app first. But this one, they're just like, we want you to watch it wherever, however. And that was really interesting.
You know what? I bet it's because now they're doing the standard 2-episode drops for seasons. It's because they're only doing the first half, so they're hoping people will watch it on YouTube and be like, oh, got to see the rest.
That's what they did for Discovery. The first episode was on CBS, and then you had to go watch the other. Yeah.
And the number of people that I knew that only watched the first episode and never watched any more because they didn't want to pay was surprisingly high.
And now the TV model has completely shifted. So surprise, I bet you all those people have at least a couple streamers.
Yeah.
Or they pay for a VPN or whatever they're using. So guess what? They're going to get you one way or the other.
Yeah.
We are the little people.
All right. So, Starfleet Academy, Season 1, Episode 1, Kids These Days. Abby, what did you think of this episode?
I love this episode. It's soon to say this, but it's definitely, if not one of possibly my favorite new Trek premiere. I think it was really well done. I think it was really balanced. I think we got a really nice idea of where this story is going. We got the majority of our characters to get some really good fleshed out a tone with them. We know a little bit about most everybody. I mean, by the time you're done with the first two that they dropped, I think you have a really good mix of the different flavors that you're going to be getting. But I dug this. I got the chills when I was supposed to. I got teared up when I was supposed to. I laughed. I yelled. I was surprised at a couple spots. It's beautiful. The music is great. Like I really am enjoying Academy so far, and I'm so glad, because I left even this episode, which is heavy at times and deals with some big dark things. I left feeling better than when I started watching, and that is such a needed feeling and a needed release these days, that I really, really like Academy, and this is a great way to start off this show.
Yeah, doesn't say it better than myself.
Yeah, really. I don't know how to follow that one.
Well, I'm going to ask you to anyway. Chrissie, what do you think?
Yeah, that's all right. No, I love it. It's wonderful. I was worried that this was going to be very teen drama style, and it's not. And so I was very happy I am very happy that that's the case. I have a few nitpicks here and there we'll discuss, but I wouldn't be a Trek fan otherwise. Have to have that. But overall, I think they've done a nice job setting it up, and looking forward to more. And everything
I noticed the online comments of the constant barrage of Star Trek 90210 basically evaporated overnight when the episode finally came out.
Hopefully.
I think that poster, when they all were in like the cuddle puddle that people call it, laying on each other's bellies or whatever. Right. Okay. So the poster is crap, but that is, it's hearkening back to another time. They're looking for that nostalgia vibe in people that are our age, not the youngers. And it backfired on them because they didn't realize that all us nerds probably weren't the ones watching 90210 back then. We were watching TNG and DS9 and Voyager and all that. So it wasn't evocative of the tone of the rest of it. So you know what? They look pretty on the poster. It's nice lighting, and move on.
I think I'm like one of the only people that thinks that poster is fine. Like I saw the poster, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't expect a poster to always be exactly what the show is. It's a cast photo. They do funky things for cast photos sometimes. There are some weird DS9 and Voyager cast photos.
There's some real weird Voyager cast photos. Like the ones where they put them all over engineering, that's real. Those are odd.
The ones for Parade magazine?
The one where they're holding all that 90s technology. Like,
the Parade magazine.
Yeah, where like...
printer. Robbie, don't
with Robert Downey Jr. like holding a fax machine. Yeah. I mean...
Beyond dot matrix. Ooh. That won't be dated at all.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, like, I thought it was fine. Like, but man, the discourse on that poster when it came out, and then I saw a couple people since the episode came out. Someone say, "Oh, it's not like that poster at all. Whoever made that poster should be fired."
Oh, and okay, it's not that bad.
What?
You know what that poster did? It got everybody talking, and then everybody checked it out to see if they were right or wrong. And this show is so good, they all went, "Oh, look at that. I don't even care about the poster anymore, but I made sure to come and watch it because that poster made me have a reaction." So that's why that person has a job in marketing.
The way I viewed that poster, because it was them lying in a pile arranged in the shape of a delta, I viewed that poster like the poster we got for Picard before it came out that was just a delta made out of grapevines. Yeah. It's not indicative of the show. It's just a
I didn't catch that. Now I'm looking at it and I go, oh yeah. I completely did not catch it.
Well, one thing I have to Academy is still continuing the Trek trope of putting a delta on absolutely everything you possibly can.
I liked the benches covered in deltas.
Yes. The chair bottoms are deltas on the bridge.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said that actually makes me feel better about the one thing that really bothered me. Because, like, the positioning doesn't bother me, the composition, the whole, like, they're all laying on the grass, whatever. What bothered me is they all looked shiny and slightly gold. And now that you're saying it's a delta, I'm like, well, okay, they're supposed to look shiny and slightly gold, so it's fine. Poster's fine. That was the thing that bothered me the most. So
we talked about how this episode gives you all the information you need to know if you haven't watched Discovery, and I think they do that well with the intro where Ake just explains what happened with the burn, and I appreciate they didn't go into great detail about the burn because that just wasn't necessary. Didn't need to explain why it happened and how they made sure it's not going to happen again. We just know it did happen. This was the fallout from it, and now we're recovering. And I think that was very, very helpful for anyone who's not familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
Agreed. It was just the right balance.
And so then we do get we open on Tatiana Maslany's character, Anisha, playing Caleb's mother, and she's giving him their secret code, and they're talking about how they want to go to Earth someday, and then they go up to face the music in court, or sentencing. Really, this wasn't really a court. There was no.
Yeah.
Well, and you feel so bad for her right there. First of all,
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany, if you have not seen her in Orphan Black, anyone listening to this, go watch it. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
One of my top 5 shows of all time. And she is a powerhouse. So I cannot wait to see how and why and when she gets pulled back into this, because we know she's not gone. Like, this is Star Trek. You're not really dead, right?
Oh, no.
And she's coming back
They
at
haven't
some
even said
point,
she's
and
dead.
I can't wait to see how she does this and what she's been up to. So... And I love the
She's
kid who played Caleb. He was a really good child actor.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, especially when his mom has been taken away and his world has just collapsed and he's just kind of stone-faced there. It looks like the kid's doing nothing, but if you watch that kid's face, he's doing everything. And as someone who works with young kids, you can see after you've watched it and you know he's thinking, how am I going to get out of here? How am I going to get away? And he's doing all that while barely moving. It's amazing. This kid, that kid deserves to have another role somewhere because he did a great job in a short amount of time.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, and also she was fantastic in She-Hulk as well.
Yes. Different tone
very
for
different
sure.
kind of show.
Yes.
But...
Yeah.
She's been great in everything I've ever seen her in. She did a movie about the Boston Marathon bombing as well. That was very good.
Oh.
But yeah, we get to see our captain and our bad guy in this first scene too, which, powerhouses both.
Yes.
Anisha had reached out to Noose Braca because she was starving, and Noose Braca had arranged for food for her, but that food came by way of stealing it from a Federation supply ship and killing an officer.
Yep.
And I don't ever get the feeling that she was part of the killing. She was part of the stealing and the whatever that resulted in a death. And I think that's important to, like, she didn't go in, she didn't pull the trigger. She was an accomplice. And because they even said, this would have just been, stealing, not a big deal, but now it's a felony because somebody's dead. And like, you see her just understanding what that means and it's sinking in, and like, oh my goodness, rip my heart in two, and she's getting pulled away from her child immediately, and that's the first thing she thinks about, what's going to happen to him. They're like ward of the Federation, and she starts freaking out. Like, as a mom myself, I could not imagine, and I couldn't think of anything more heartbreaking than seeing the choice that you made to try to keep your child alive is what's going to be the thing that separates you from your child. And I love the fact that this is immediately dealt with afterwards, and as this goes on, as a mistake. It is never framed as anything other than a mistake, whether it was following the letter of the law, keeping the rule of order, whatever you want to call it. It was a mistake, and it was always treated like that, and that's really powerful for me.
And this is a very political statement.
Yes.
Too, for them to do that. Because at what point, I can't speak for other countries. I imagine there are similar things that happen there. But in the United States, this happens all the time. It's referred to as felony murder, where if you are committing a crime and someone is killed, even if you had nothing to do with it, if you're just the getaway driver for people who rob a convenience store, but they shoot someone in the process, you can be charged with felony murder. And it becomes a whole, it's a process that is, well, fairly unjust, to be honest.
But you can understand why.
You can understand why it's in place, but it really does. It ruins people's lives for things that, If you want more information on it, honestly, I recommend, in an accessible way, a few months ago, John Oliver on Last Week Tonight did an excellent episode about this topic. So I would recommend looking that up if you haven't seen it.
I would also suggest that you look into foster care in your area if you have at all any of the capability, because a lot of these things result in exactly what happened here with children being quickly removed from families. And even if all you can do is offer a temporary spot for a night or two or anything, this is something that affects multiple generations. So look into that if you can.
So Bracca's attitude here really reminded me of Harry Mudd's argument about how the Federation was
Yes,
an empire,
I completely agree.
colonialist, and just interesting through lines, and how,
and like Harry Mudd, he's not entirely wrong.
No,
he's not. Harry Mudd is using it to manipulate, and that's, but it is still, the point's still there, and it's, we're not yet, we're never in a moneyless society. Let me establish that again. Post-scarcity society. Next Gen is certainly within the Federation a post-scarcity society. I think we can probably figure that prior to the burn, what there was of the Federation was post-scarcity.
But post-burn, they are not.
Post-scarcity.
They have scarcity again post-burn, and that's
they had scarcity in Mudd's time. We were not yet post-scarcity then. So I think seeing that's what happens when you can't have enough for everybody, when you can't take care of everybody. And that goes into all sorts of interesting directions as to why governments function the way they do and societies function the way they do, and how some people take that and go fascist and how some people take that and go communist. And as Kirk said, reality is always somewhere in between. But but that really hit me. I was like, oh, that's Harry Mudd's speech in different words. Yeah.
Well, and while we're talking about Bracca, let's just talk about how Paul Giamatti is eating up this character. Oh my God, he's amazing. And all the little finger rings that he's clicking amongst and
have you ever
noises.
seen an actor that is clearly enjoying being in Star Trek as much as Paul Giamatti?
Oh my God. And if you hear him on any interviews,
Tawny Newsome, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. They're on par with each other. Yes. But my dad sent me a clip of Paul Giamatti on Stephen Colbert's show, and it's like, oh my God, he's just gushing. He sounds like you. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Dad. You started all this many, many years ago. But just, I love that he loves this character. I love that we're getting pieces and backstory and bits of him from the beginning, and every scene he's in, you get a little more of it, and you don't realize it until after you listen to it again and realize he's given you these facts, these clues, these words, the vocabulary he chooses to use. And man, he's smart. And that's what makes the best Trek villains are the ones who are smart. Smart and good is wonderful. Smart and scary is wonderful to watch. I'm really glad I don't have to go up against you for real. So I love him as a villain, and I love that he loves being a villain, and I love how wacky he is, and his little theme tune that's like on the baby toy piano that almost sounds circusy, the dun 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 dun, right? It's real clinky and tinny. Is one of those creepy clown almost, but and
missing
that
from the soundtrack, unfortunately.
Well, I'm not sure that's what I want to hear all the time. It's very evocative of him, but it is creepy. It's that little that you're not quite sure. This seems whimsical and silly, but it's real scary beneath it. So I love it. I love it. I love him. I love that he gets to do this, and now he can come to every Star Trek convention he wants for the rest of his life and just live it up. It's a dream. Good job.
He is going to be at AwesomeCon in DC in March.
Cool.
I'm not going because it's only a couple weeks after the cruise, and I'm just not. I'm not ready for another big con then. But I'm hoping that he'll be at. I'm still crossing my fingers that they're going to add him for STOV.
I think there's going to probably be more and more Academy announcements, because right now it's just Bella Shepherd, right?
So far, just Bella Shepherd, but we're still way off. They announce people much closer to the con.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. My first real introduction to Paul Giamatti was John Adams. Oh. And so until this point, I have a real trouble seeing him as anybody else. This has broken that, of course. But it is, I hear his voice and I'm like, that's John Adams. And
this is not John Adams.
So when he was on Downton Abbey,
this is not John Adams. No. But I do love that someday I may be able to go to a Trek convention and have him sign my DVDs of John Adams.
Yes, there you go.
So,
And I have to say, I like this villain so much that I kind of hope that this is like a Data and Lore situation, because they've confirmed he's the
Mhm.
big villain of season 1. Okay, great,
Mhm.
wonderful. It doesn't mean he has to die at the end of season 1 or go
That's
away.
true.
Like, so I'm hoping that since season 2 is filming so quickly after season 1, that maybe we have a continuation of a thread. We've seen him escape from bad situations already multiple times. Like, I hope he sticks around. I hope he gets to live out his dream for a long time, and he pops up a couple episodes every season just to give him crap. Like, because I want him on my screen more, and I want him and Holly Hunter to interact more, because they absolutely crackle every scene they're on together in this entire episode. It's amazing.
this is one thing that I think we're going to, as we find out more about the Venari Rahl, we'll get more of that, because I went into this episode thinking, oh, Venari Rahl is the ship he's on. And then we get into the next episode, which we'll get to, about how Beta Z had been troubled by the Venari Rahl. And I'm like, well, it can't have just been that ship then, because then they could say, well, it's been destroyed, and that's the end of that. So, who is he in relation to that group? What is that group? All of that. So,
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just an organization, a confederation of pirates.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I'm
the
guessing
Emerald
it's
Chain.
like Emerald Chain 2.0.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
kind of what
It
I
was
was
just-
thinking too.
I thought it was the ship for the whole
I
first
thought it was
episode,
the
and
ship at
I
first
also
too.
thought it was the ship for the first episode, yeah, but...
Yeah.
All right.
So Caleb breaks out
Yeah.
very smartly.
Yes.
Well, and we see already by the end of these first two that they dropped that Caleb breaking out of stuff is going to be quite a pattern in his life in general. Like, there's not really anything that has kept him constrained very well. But man, what self-confidence this kid, who's now a young man, and oh my God, we were talking before we were recording, this guy is huge, right? Like, this is a big guy. He's just all muscle and all strength and all power. And to see that first scene where he takes over, he gets arrested on purpose, takes over a prison ship to be able to hack it and risk his life to try to find his mom. Like, it's not just, escaping prison. It's getting arrested and risking prison where, they'll cut his hands off and make him dig tunnels with his stumps. I know that's a detail I'm not going to forget. Right? And, yeah, to see that he's doing this still for his mom, and the amount of confidence it takes in your own abilities to be able to pull something like that off, and the amount of desperation is interesting. And I cannot believe that this is this actor's first in front of camera role, because oh my God, he is a powerhouse. Yeah, this is his first. He's straight out of school, has never done any on camera work, has done a little theater here and there, but nothing. Like, first credit on IMDb, and he is amazing.
Before we get away from him stealing our comm badge and breaking out this time, that bear, was anybody else really disturbed by the bear? It just reminded me of one of the things from Five Nights at Freddy's.
It is a creepy looking bear.
Yeah.
The eyes,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, the eyes. It's the eyes.
And the stomach circle, right? Because it's got like
Yeah,
the weird stomach circle. And this is not the first child's toy. This is not the first bear that has had a big appearance or a moment in Trek. But
And creepy toys, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had some creepy toys over the years.
show up quite a bit, yeah. And that poor bear that blew up on the D, like,
Oh,
but but yeah, the toy, the fact that the toy knows a lot about you is a little. As a mom, I worry sometimes about things like that and what other people would do with a toy like that. But I could also understand if you have to leave your kid alone, having something that records is probably not the worst idea. So, like, it's just a lot of layers.
Well, I wonder how much it records and how much it doesn't. Like, so it could actually be listening to every conversation and understanding it, or it could just be programmed with responses.
Yeah.
That's
true, because when she picks it up and it says take me to Caleb,
that just makes sense. Like it
Yeah.
But and also
just requires
when
recognition that it's not him.
Yeah, and when Anisha says "Isn't that right?" and talks to it, it could just be sort of like a "Hey Siri" sort of thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I managed to not do it. Good. Where like that's its trigger word, but it's not like actively recording anything before that.
I just thought it looked kind of funky. I didn't even think about it recording everything because to me, being the elder millennial that I am, I go back to Teddy Ruxpin, so I didn't even think.
Okay. Hey, Teddy Ruxpin was also a tape recorder, so he could record too.
Yeah, I know, but you had to tell it to do it. Yeah.
And he would sound demonic when the batteries were dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Caleb escapes with the comm badge, goes out into the sandstorm and manages to get away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we flash forward to the present day, and he is being taken into custody on a prison, which, interestingly, I'm sure you picked up on the Enterprise reference here, Abby.
The Tarathans. I hope they're still playing Cascana with their shirts off in the desert and their little desert lacrosse sticks. Just saying. It's so fun that this show has done a really nice job of throwing references to pretty much every iteration of Trek in the first 2 episodes. And again, if you get them, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. But they're really honoring all of the shows. And that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this show is just a reference treasure trove. And I think we can thank Kirsten Beyer and Tanya Newsom in the writers' room for a lot of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just the Easter eggs are enormous and delightful and deep cuts, a lot of them, or little inside jokes, which is always fun.
I will say the Wall of Names. There's some things on the Wall of Names annoy me, but. Like, why is Joshua Albert on the Wall of Names?
Parallel universe? Mirror universe Josh came over and did some really good stuff that we just don't know about. I mean... Because
how could he possibly be one of Starfleet's most dedicated officers when he died as a cadet doing something stupid? I mean...
Well, neither of those are terribly uncommon names.
That's true.
That's true.
Could be another Joshua Albert.
Fair enough.
That makes the most sense. But yeah, it's there are a couple names up there that you go, why? And then
why did Julian Bashir never get promoted?
That was what I was about to say. And then if that's the case, why not just say doctor?
You're right.
So.
Well, but I did hear somebody, and I think it was my co-host Chris said he loved that when you saw Rock Talk up there, it said Lieutenant Commander, and like, well, that would make sense because she's all about the science, and that would be she doesn't really care about the rank as long as she can get her science done and do everything. She doesn't need to do any command. She wouldn't want to, and I'm like, see, there's all these stories, and this is just what they need to do is show a full picture of the names so everybody can just like get it out of their system. We can know them all. We can freak out, and then do a writing contest where everybody gets to write a story and every name needs to have the story of why they ended up on the wall. And then you make an anthology book and like you take out the biggies. You're like, we know this when we're taking out the people who we've already, seen on screen for more than whatever. If you know why they're going to be on the wall, then you don't get to write the story. But here's the other 200 names and you could have a wonderful book series.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that's Bashir not being promoted actually makes sense in that context. He doesn't need
yes and no. I don't
command training.
No, but he still could have become. He still could have become a lieutenant commander.
Yeah.
No, remember that was because Beverly was full commander.
Yeah.
Not lieutenant commander.
And Troy was a lieutenant commander before she took the command training to become a full commander.
That's right.
Maybe he left to go do some amazing medical research somewhere else, and that was the highest rank he ever got. But there's we've already headcanoned half of the wall, so we're good.
We haven't even gotten to the wall yet. So he's in his ship.
Yep.
And and he looks for his mother and
not found.
So what I'm wondering on this one was had he already just been captured and he was taking this advantage to look for his mother, or had he deliberately let himself be captured so he could do this?
I assume the former.
I thought he deliberately let himself get captured because he needed I think it works either way.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. But who knows? Either way, it was quite a plan. And to see him, I mean, he fought like someone who had absolutely nothing to lose, which,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, full ear and everything. So,
He's a biter.
well, that first scene when you see Ake walk in to get him from the prison then, and he's cuffed and he's got the whole face mask on, that is scary. He looks scary. And to see him, I mean, he's almost feral. He's mad at this point. He's yelling at them, I'm not your prisoner. Take me then. Like, you can see what he has had to do and what he is capable of and what he is living as right now because of this. And he still wants to find his mother. And here comes another mother figure walking in and offering him a deal.
The woman who took away his mother.
Correct.
Yeah. And that harkens to Silence of the Lambs, too.
Yes.
But it is.
Yes.
It's a touch point for our generation and the one ahead. Yeah.
It's a striking visual. And the two of them...
I actually just saw that last year.
Oh.
For the first time?
Congratulations. Yeah. You've been initiated.
I had to watch it when
it in it than I was expecting.
Yeah. I saw that when I was well too young to have seen it because my parents were watching it. They just never censored anything. And I really wasn't paying attention. And then after X-Files became a big thing, my mom's like, you have to watch Silence of the Lambs because Scully is this character.
I also had trouble reconciling the police captain from Monk as the serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Well, this is a hard scene, right? Like, they're very upfront with each other, and there's a lot of harshness going back and forth. And the fact that Ake finally gets to drop on Caleb, your mom escaped a while ago, and guess what? You haven't heard anything. Like they're back and forth, and he gets some big cuts in on her, and like when he hulks up next to her, and the physicality between the two of them. And as this episode and these first two episodes go on, they mirror each other in how they sit, how they stand, like crossed arms, hands on hips, slouching over, and you see them in this one almost bending to form the same shape in opposite. Like this is obviously going to be a pivotal relationship in this entire series, and to see it really forming here as the two adults now, in the power struggle between the two of them, which is very real. It was set up wonderfully, and what a way to reintroduce this relationship and to show that the dynamics are not going to be easy. But again, we are taking responsibility for our actions. We are accepting that we have made mistakes. We are naming them. That is such a powerful thing to see people with power do. So I'm really glad it's in here.
Yeah, so we did have before Ake comes to Caleb in the prison, we do have the scene where she's on Bajor and Admiral Vance comes to talk to her. And I feel like he should have that.
The little orange kid is credited as being a Suliban, even though he doesn't really look like a Suliban, but I'm going to take it because that's cool.
Orange kid is a Suliban?
That's what it says in the credits.
I mean, there could be different colors of Suliban. There's different colors of humans.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he doesn't look like Paint Spackle.
He doesn't look pebbly, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But, it's been 1,000 years. And perhaps all of that was because of genetic messing around because of the temporal Cold War. So now they have repurified, and this is what they would look like if they didn't really need moisturizer all the time.
I also like how we don't find out what they're fessing up to, but the orange kid does have a stain on his shoulder that matches the ice cream color.
I think the fessing up was the one stole the ice cream from the other, and maybe the one stole the ice cream back or something.
Oh yeah, pre-warning ice cream on ice cream day. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
It's adorable. And I love the fact that they are showing someone that we have previously known as, the person in charge is now choosing to spend her time with preschoolers. A preschool in Star Trek, that little people are meaningful because they grow up to become big people and they need good role models and teachers and mentors and all that too. It makes me so happy to see as someone who hangs with little people all the time.
Yep. The one thing is, I feel like Vance should have led with the fact that they had found Caleb rather than
the job.
He was being
first.
a bit manipulative there too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously have a long history. I love that she calls him Charlie and continues to be like, oh, like it's so cute. I mean, I know cute's not the right word, but it just
No, it is cute.
automatically
cute.
gives them
Yeah.
a different level of relationship that you believe.
Yeah, and you can tell that even if they've had some differences in the past, like her immediate reaction when seeing him was to give him a big hug. So that's
Yep. And he's softer around her. Like, we know him when he's the admiral. We know him when he's the diplomat. We know him when he's, annoyed by people. And we're seeing him here in one of his moments where he's just soft and himself as much as an admiral. And that's nice to see.
Yeah, and able to admit that the Federation was wrong.
And that he was wrong too. Dead wrong, as he says. And that's how I knew right away that this was going to be a show that I appreciated, because I don't want to watch just people who are flawless. That doesn't make anything interesting. Yeah. When you make a mistake or you screw up or something doesn't go the way that it's planned, that's where you want to see those people rise and really show what they're made out of. And they were already doing this at the very beginning of this episode. So bravo.
But Jean's vision. But yeah, no.
All right.
Sorry,
so
I
said this on Blue Sky. The only Jean's vision arguments that I will hear about this show are the ones against visible zippers on uniforms.
Yeah.
Yes, and I agree with you. My response is there weren't enough not quite naked, beautiful people. So, yes.
Well, in this episode,
there are never not enough not quite naked, beautiful people for Jean, or just straight up naked people.
Yeah.
Or three-breasted people.
That's true.
I mean, just...
Yeah, I just had the whole... You're right, and that's part of why early Next Gen can be a little bit... feels pedantic, so... yeah, but I loved seeing that there were a bunch of different kids on Bajor, and different species of kids. And she said that the school that he was supposed to go to was on Bajor, right?
Little Blooms.
Was it the same
place?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love the idea that Bajor has, or at least this place on Bajor is maybe a place for refugees, is maybe a place for people who don't have other places to go, who can't go other places. Because I feel like Bajor as that is just perfect.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it kind of started with the burn, because there probably would have been tons of people who would have been stranded,
of course.
who would have been, traveling, because this is the travel hub with the wormhole, and are now stuck there.
Yep, I like that idea.
Yeah, and that might even come back to our Master of Students, or what's her name, Cadet Master, and her parents. Yeah. Okay.
That's now my headcanon. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it just occurred to me just now as thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It does bother me that none of the ice cream goes over the cones, even though they appear just gotten it. That's it.
Well, I also have to say that those are some big cones for some small kids. So, like, that's if it was free ice cream day at the preschool, like, that's still like 2 scoops of ice cream in a big old waffle cone, right? Like, how much do you want these little people bouncing off the walls the rest of the day?
It's replicated ice cream. It could have all the nutrients they need for the day and still taste good.
There we go.
Yeah, and I noticed. Yeah, she has 2 cones to herself when she's walking with Vance too.
Yeah, and he's so big that cone looks tiny, and then she just tosses the cones into the bushes.
I know, I saw that too.
Well, yeah, I mean it would. I guess animals would eat it. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I mean,
no.
It's like when you're camping and you just throw the apple core, that sort of thing.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree, because the squirrels will eat it, and there's an apple tree there in many years. So.
Exactly.
But it's a nice scene, and it's nice that you see that she doesn't immediately jump on it. Like, she's happy where she is. She's following another path that she's content with. And it takes that extra, cherry of, we found Caleb Muir alive, for her to say, okay, now I got to go and take care of this, because this is, the kid, as opposed to the kids that she's working with now. Oh. But it means a lot, too, to know that she had walked away and she came back for the kids, for the next generation, for the school.
Yeah.
That's a biggie. I like that Star Trek is doing is doing teachers a service with this, because sometimes education has not always been portrayed accurately or positively, in my opinion, on Star Trek, and this is doing the opposite of it. So, bravo.
Yeah.
So then, yes, she does go to get Caleb out of prison, and we did already go over that scene. So I think we can head over to
jump to the Athena.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I still don't fully love 31st century starship design.
No.
Like, too many triangles.
It's really shiny. Like, I feel like it would be a lot of reflection, and like you'd need some sort of like polarization lens on. As I sit here and we all have glasses on, like just there's a lot of glare on all those shiny flat surfaces, right?
Well, that's why they turned the lights down so much on Picard.
Yeah.
Well, no, it really was because of the reflective surfaces.
Yeah, well.
And in this case, they're repurposing Discovery sets, and they were all shiny, so that's why.
Well, it looks a little bit sometimes like an arcade. Like you get the right long shots because there's so many different colors of lights, right? But
there's the neon strip lights that really...
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have a bright, colorful, fun bridge that seems like you'd want to like hang out there than a stark, barren one. I mean, you could not put carpet on this one and have it not look silly. So, just saying.
Yeah,
I love the new comm badges, though. If we're talking about design.
The comm badges are great.
They're beautiful.
Yes, my only complaint is that they aren't bio-coded, because if that had happened, then Caleb wouldn't have been able to get out. But whatever.
Plot.
I really want to know how that one kidette swallowed her comm badge. Like, how does that even happen?
Okay, what? Yeah, that bothered me immensely. She's saying something that's imminently stupid.
And the doctor's response is just, already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one didn't hit for me either. She as a caricature isn't hitting for me. Like I know that this is the first class of the Academy, but you are still the best of the best, and you have still gone through all those exams, right? So like,
and you don't have to be the best of the best to not swallow a comm badge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how are you doing that unless you deliberately put it in your mouth for some reason?
Yeah.
And how do you not know? How do you say I think?
Yeah.
Excellent question.
I mean, I guess that could be just like caveating it, like I did this, and we've all been there where we don't want to say we actually did the thing, but what?
Yeah.
I think it was just to give him a chance to be grumpy.
Yes.
Yeah, and to do the Voyager callback line, tricorder.
Yes.
Medical tricorder.
Yep. Well, it
so I love.
Go ahead.
Oh, God. No, go ahead.
I was just going to jump us to that where they are meeting everybody, kind of since we're talking about the Academy.
Yeah, so was I. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you go ahead. Your show.
Oh, all right. So I love how we immediately get the cadet master just, being the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Drill sergeant?
Drill sergeant. Thank you. Yes. And coming out of her mouth as that character, it's just, she does that so well.
Yeah. Gina Yashere is incredible in this role.
Yeah.
And
Laura
just feels like a character you already know a lot about just by the way she carries herself, the way she talks, the way that she code switches from cadet master to first officer in that scene, depending who she's talking to. Like, yeah. And the fact that Caleb responds to her the way he does when, he kind of smart mouths everybody.
She's scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a woman you don't want to piss off, at all. And like, idiot bag back. Like, it's just so funny, so perfect. And I like that that's our introduction to Jaden the Klingon too, which though Jaden does not sound like a Klingon name to me. I know it's J-Den, but
no, it sounds like the name of an actual kid today.
Character
so does Caleb, though. I mean, and Genesis,
but Caleb's human, so it makes more sense.
Genesis isn't.
Darren, who I will call Darren at some point, I guarantee it. But that's what I'm talking about.
So, what is an intraspecies vomit monitor?
I don't know.
It's the same people that go looking for the headlight fluid.
I guess. But it is also intraspecies, so it's only with the humans. Like, he's not checking out the Orion vomit or anything.
Maybe Orions don't vomit.
The doctor did say to watch for like the parasites to come out, and the one had to come out the other way. So maybe it's a parasite thing.
They did say, "I think you're the first one," so I think she was just trying to scare him.
Yeah. I did like the doctor
can't show off in front of her boss for the first time.
The doctor said, "What?" Out with the parasites. When the doctor said, "Watch your bowel movements. Let me know if anything moves." Wait, never mind. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, and can we also just mention Stephen Colbert here?
Yes.
Because I am so geeked that he is part of this.
He's so geeked that he's part of this too.
Yeah. But he is the nerd's nerd. I remember when he got on Lord of the Rings and how that was just, and I love him to pieces. He's wonderful. So just seeing him now as a part of Trek.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert might show up at Star Trek conventions now.
Perfectly legitimate.
And wow.
Yeah.
Oh God! Did they get Stephen Colbert on like the Star Trek cruise or something? And he does like because they'll do things where like the actors will do like various events, like Stephen Colbert doing like a stand-up show or something. That'd be amazing.
Oh, could you imagine him like riffing with Tawny Newsome?
That would be so fun.
Oh my God! And if you get, I know Paul F. Tompkins is a Trekkie. Yeah. I know he's involved in because he was on the.
Yep.
He did that show with her.
And
he threw
that in. Paul Tompkins was actually on the cruise a couple years ago.
Oh, fun.
Okay. I thought I remembered you saying that, but
he and Tawny were on the cruise together. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's a whole other range of wonderful comedic possibilities here. That's just, love it. Yeah.
Well, and the announcements are very like that's where there's a lot of tone in this that I feel they get it just right. If there were too many of those, it would be annoying. But they're just right, and they're just like eye-rolly enough, but they're eye-rolly in the way that you roll your eyes at the announcements in any school. Like, they always come on, they're annoying, they're at a bad time, they're usually pretty cheesy, and telling you something that you either really don't need to know or you already know.
I also the direct ones to like the specific people seem odd because normally you'd think that would just be a rather than a public announcement about what the Talaxian furfly is doing, you'd think it would be a message specifically to that person.
Yes, but I feel like that's meant to tell us something about that person and that they don't answer their phone. So
I think it's if we can't get you on your comm badge and something is happening, we will announce it over the PA because they will do that with kids at school, like the runner kids, right? Like they'll announce for them over everywhere if they can't find them. So maybe the Talaxian furfly is doing things that cadet does not want to take care of at the moment.
So we have Craig. Jaden Craig.
Oh, I like him.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
I like for a long, long time, we've been talking about on my pod First Flight about how we wish we had seen other parts of Klingons, right? Like we love Ma'a on Lower Decks, and we see him and his brother back on the farm. We like that in Judgment, in Enterprise, when you can see that there's a Klingon lawyer here. Like I want to see Klingons that aren't warriors, and to have someone right away here, like, and this to be the first time that we're getting a Klingon character in this part of the timeline. Like this is really interesting. There's a lot of possibilities here. It's exciting. Like just like when you think about Ferengi scientists, Klingon doctors, like there's a lot of potential here, and it'll be interesting to see him working with the Doctor, who's a bit cranky. And to see how that goes. So
it has a history with Klingons. Yeah.
Correct. So I think this could lead to a lot of story potential. And it's nice to see someone you wouldn't immediately think of as being a gentle character to come off that way.
Yeah.
Yep. I want them to somehow work in that meme about the Klingon counselor. I don't know if you've seen that. It goes around every once in a while about how battling your own demons is the most important battle of all.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see. I know it's just like random fan thing, but that would work with him, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and nice
I
to
love how
see
they
him
got,
and Caleb connecting right away too. I think that's going to be a fun
yes.
relationship.
Yeah, they're both very outsider in
Mm-hmm.
different ways, and it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
good. I love how they get redressed and the haircut.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean,
Though, why can't Caleb have long hair like everybody else has longish? I mean, Jaden got to
we're
keep
going to
most
come
of his dreads.
we're going to come back to that because I'm pretty sure that this establishes that Starfleet is a military organization again. So,
Well, no, because we have the separate military organization.
I know, I'm just being
Like, this, if anything... Well, so the weird thing is, they're both... we have to... We'll get into that more in the next episode, I think, but
yeah.
we do need to sort of try to do some, like, brainstorming about military college and Starfleet Academy and what that means. But,
Yeah.
but we can
Yeah.
do that. The war college and
In
stuff.
there, yeah.
We can talk about that in the next episode.
She does say he will need to have a regulation haircut. So maybe
But
I
the
know.
art
I feel like
chooses it for him.
right, but so maybe that's just the default, you know? And since they could regrow hair in the 24th century, so maybe he can change it at some point.
Yeah,
And
but it's like
he has
other people have
Aurelian
different
lungmen.
hairstyles though, so it's like it's strange.
Maybe he had lice.
Well, that's also possible.
Yeah,
I
But
mean,
you'd
because
think
he has
they'd
the
need to
Aurelian lung.
cut it at all if
That's
that were
true.
the case.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't have had to cut it at all. I don't know. I just came up with that.
But and if they do, you'd think you'd want to shave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can't cure lice in the 31st century, I don't know what we're doing.
I mean, they can cure lice now, so yes.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they cut his hair. I agree. It seems speciesist. It seems a bit sexist.
Yeah.
But I think it is supposed to be very abrupt, and I think it's so that we get that
And I do like his reaction.
moment of cutting off his reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we also get to meet Sam, who I have to say, I love Sam.
Sam
love
is
Sam.
great.
I love
Sam is-
Sam
yeah.
like so deeply, and I will already, riot for anyone who wants to hurt or make her feel sad because I love Sam. The honesty, the openness, the just joy that exudes from that character. Yes. Bring on more Sam. Bring on more Sam and the Doctor. Bring on more Sam and Genesis. Bring on more Sam and anybody in this show because I absolutely love this character. I love the portrayal of this character, and I just want more. Please now.
Before we get into that, we have Ake giving her speech.
Oh yeah,
right?
I don't want to skip that.
Yeah, and this is one, like, it's a fine speech, and it works within the context. It's great. Okay, and maybe it's just because of everything that's going on in politics and me having historian brain, but I really feel like this is a call to action for, and particularly when you pair it with the next episode, like this is a call to action for young people. Fix things. You are the ones who need to fix things. And it almost feels like it's a oh God, I can't think of the word. Like it's saying to the older generations, why didn't you fix things? Or at the same time, it might be saying, we understand the context of why you didn't fix things. But it's just it reminds me of what I remember hearing about how our generation was going to be the ones to do everything. And particularly as we were talking about ages, our cohort, that early millennial cohort, and I landed exactly class of 2000. And oh my God, you want to talk about expectations. Okay. So it felt like it was very much, this is a new way of life. You are the first ones to deal with it. Make sure you do it right, and we're counting on you. And also, we really can't do anything other than let you go into it. I don't know if I'd explain that well. It gave me a vibe that I was feeling like I was both being inspired and told off. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is.
Well, it's also kind of like the reverse of the message that we kind of got through Picard season 3, which was that the younger kids are the problem, and it's the older generation that has to fix it.
Which is very interesting contextually in terms of who's involved in all of those and
Yes.
who was running the stories and all of that. So I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah.
Well, I think
So
it's interesting
it's
because
fine. It's just
no, I think that speech it was when I was like, oh yeah, this is when you get the big speech with the captain and da, da, da. But it wasn't one that like I want to come back to. It felt like, yeah, this is a Star Trek speech. It wasn't. She has better ones in later on in the next episode, like when she's talking about doing little things the next time. I think that's a better speech
I
than
love that
this
one. Yeah.
one. So it was interesting. It needed to happen. It was fine, but I do think it shows, and I like that the show is doing a balance between like the older teachers and the chancellors and like the adults in the show, and then the young adults in the show, and that you're seeing things from both of their perspectives, and you're seeing them having intentional interactions with each other and unintentional interactions with each other, and at times it's really awkward, but that's exactly how it actually is. So I'm okay with it not being like perfect and shiny and the best of all the times, because this is going to be a show about that, and about how even the people who are in charge don't get it right 100% of the time. And I think she's grown. I mean, she said yes to this role, what, like 2 days ago, maybe? So
right.
it's a short timeline. And
she even says that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those things like, yeah, we're all starting off here together, and this might not be perfect and we might hit some bumps, but let's go and do what we got to do. And that's what I took from it. But I can definitely see how it can be taken in a lot of different ways. And maybe that's the power of what the speech is.
Oh, yes. There you go. That's a better way to look at it.
I try.
So we do get introduced to the bridge crew of the Athena here, including Becky Lynch as Lieutenant Yah. But especially what I wanted to point out is our helm officer, Lieutenant Dandrid, is Command Division, which is the first time we have seen Helm being back in the Command Division in the 31st century. Or is it the 32nd century?
Oh. What's the year? Is it 31 something or 30 something? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I think it's 32nd century.
I think it is.
Yes, too. I think so too.
Yeah. But anyway, it's the first time we've seen, because on Discovery,
3177.
Detmer was operations. She wore yellow
she was
in
yellow.
the 32nd and had the bronze in the 23rd. And in Strange New Worlds, Ortegas is operations as well. But now we're back. But in Star Trek before Discovery, the Helm officer was always Command Division.
Okay.
And then in Picard they were as well. LaForge were red. So I found it interesting that we're now back to the traditional way.
Hey, good for them. New starts, reboots.
Yeah,
let's go.
I never paid that much attention to it, and I was just kind of like, okay, well, anybody can learn the helm,
Yes, but anyone can learn the helm, but like the helm officer is typically
command track.
Yeah, command track, or at least was until Discovery and Strange New Worlds did it differently.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that was a mistake on Discovery with the color? They just carried it through. So, that was too easy.
No, I think because it makes as much sense for it to be operations, or possibly more sense for the helm to be operations than it does for command. Yeah. And I will say, while in TOS, helm was command, in the movies, the helm officer wore gold for operations. So the TOS movies, the gold collar under the. Because Sulu wore gold, and then, but
he was command track. Yeah, so he was
Well, Sulu was not command until he became captain. In the movies, he was operations he was command in the show, but in the movies he was wearing the gold of operation. He had the undershirt.
Right, he wasn't, because they had the extra colors then.
Yeah.
Okay, the extra colors confuse me. That's
they do.
But the Doctor looks great in white.
Yeah, he does.
The Doctor does look good in white.
Yep.
I do like these uniforms because they're mostly they're mostly the Discovery uniforms, but Ake has a new style which I like. And
I like the asymmetry of them. I know it drives some people crazy, but
I
like
wish they were not asymmetrical.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy wearing it.
Yeah, but I like how they look other than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't mind that the flap is I don't mind that like it doesn't zip up the middle. I'm fine with that. I'm fine that it zip on the side like that. But I don't like that one hangs down lower than the other. I do not like how that looks.
That would drive me batty.
I like asymmetrical stuff when it comes to like visuals.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about wearing it. It would be like having your
wearing
shirt
it might be annoying. Yes,
that's where
I like the way that it looks.
Yeah,
that's enough. That's enough uniform digression.
So now we meet Sam and Genesis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the scene between Sam and Genesis, where Genesis is just immediately welcoming to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
She really shines in this first episode in her interactions with a lot of the different cast members, and you believe that she's an admiral's daughter by the way she handles herself in multiple different situations, and this is just the first example of one of them. And I really enjoy her character. I didn't expect to as much. Like, I don't know why. Like, I thought she was going to be, the cool, smart, pretty, everything girl. But really,
that's what I thought
it's
too.
a totally different vibe, and I like it. I like it a lot, and I like how she's caring right away, and she's open right away, and that's really nice to see.
Yeah.
And
then we have him trying to get people to do opera.
Well, that's
and there's a Parisi squirrels.
Parisi squirrels.
Oh, take it back. That would have been the title of the episode.
That would have been a great title for the team for a team name, the Parisi squirrels.
Yeah, it would. Oh my God!
There you go.
Squirrels are really nimble. As someone who lives with her woods in their up in their backyard, squirrels do amazing stuff that they shouldn't. So they could probably be really good at Parisi squares.
Yep.
Yeah, we do also meet Darum Ramey, who is a bit of a dick at the moment, at least.
We all know him, or some form of him.
We all encountered him in school.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's, again, we get another layer of Jaden here where he drops, it's the binoculars, and they're talking about the binoculars, and then later on we find out he uses them for bird watching because his mom taught him to look for beautiful things. Like, this is it. Fine, bump into the jerk to get that moment for him later on.
Yeah. I like how Sam fangirls at the Doctor.
Yeah, so do I.
And like, if you're going to be my mentor, and he's like, no. And then he's really troubled by her bringing up Voyager and Protostar, and we don't know what else would have been said there because it hasn't been established yet.
So I wonder if there's
to see what's happened in the last.
Yeah, I wonder on that whether it's a specific thing about the Protostar kids, or if it's just a general. He's been around for hundreds of years and seen many of the people that he was close to die. And I wonder if it's more of a general thing or if something specifically bad happened to the Protostar.
Well, it's interesting.
Or somebody from Voyager after.
Yeah.
The names that Sam said, none of those names are on the wall.
But the other ones are.
The
other kids.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
That's, or at least not on the wall we've seen yet.
Yeah. I didn't catch that either. I know Abby found that out the same way I did with the Trek Culture's Ups and Downs video.
Okay.
Yep. Well, because they went through the wall, they have a wall watch. They're just doing bunches of names, and as soon as they said that, I was like, oh, because I was just waiting for people to compile wall lists, and as we do, these little things pop up, and even if there isn't anything else that we specifically get this first season about that's enough to be a plot thread you could pick up on later on, because we already know there's season 2, and you know that you can see that the Doctor is affected by having lived this long. You see that from this very first moment, and he's talked about, Robert Picardo, in all of his interviews, about how he's really gotten to deal with that and play with that in this season. So I think they're setting up crumbs right here for that, because we know he's really excited to get to examine that part of the Doctor. So bring it on. And bring on Sam just loving him. It's adorable.
Yes. This is a place where I know we'd be accused of small universe syndrome, but I would love to see Data back, because he talks about this in Time's Arrow, about how he expected to make friends and then for those friends to die, and he would make new friends. And I think the perspective would be useful for both of them. They're almost the same age if you think about it. There's only 20 years difference, if so, 10 years difference. So, I doubt that that's going to happen, but it is something that we could come back to.
Well, I mean,
you can watch anything on the holodeck.
I mean, because if you figure the Doctor, while he looks older, would have been born the day Voyager activated him, actually. So Data's a little older than 10 years than the Doctor.
Well, what, 10? Oh, yeah, because he was 20. He was 27 when something like that.
Either way.
Okay, so
similar at this point
compared to 800 years.
It would still be.
It's a fraction.
Yeah.
All right, so Genesis busts out Caleb again right after this, and I have to say, first of all, that is the most beautifully lit scene with all the blues and all the that's absolutely
the shadows.
Gorgeous. Yeah. And again, we see that she is an admiral's daughter right here, and that she's smart, and that she understands people probably better than a lot of the other cadets at this point, because of being, migratory, having never been on a planet before, being around with her dad everywhere else. I liked her even more after this scene.
Yep.
I also like, because she I want to learn how to kill a man with a toothbrush. And then, after all that, he's like, I can't do this. I don't have a toothbrush. She's like, you should.
The least of your problems.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I feel the secondhand embarrassment. I'm like, no, I mean, not on me. Yep. Toothbrush, I promise.
But yeah, Caleb did hack into the computer to try to send a message to his mother on their secret frequency, which will be a problem.
But is consistent with his character. Every opportunity that he has to search for or reach out to his mother, he is, no matter what amount of trouble he's risking. So it's good to see that consistency.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope this doesn't come back to bite him, because the only way we have seen his mother is as a woman who's desperate to feed her son and desperate to keep her son. And we don't know if she's not she could be an absolutely terrible person. We don't know.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not the case.
Or even if she's not a terrible person, just a victim of circumstance is caught up in a lot of stuff that,
You'll do a lot of stuff to protect your kids and to make sure your kids are okay. And sometimes that is to your own personal detriment, because they are more important. And we saw that as her one thing we are sure of about her character, is that she wants him to be okay.
Yeah. So, we encounter a interesting anomaly in space, which turns out to be an attack.
I'm really glad that somebody, and I'm not into Trek for the battles for the most part. I can appreciate a good one, but it's not really my jam. But I have always thought, since Discovery jumped to this century and there's programmable matter, that this opens up a whole new world of attacks and weaponry. And I am so glad to see somebody who thought about that, because I would not think that in life I'd be categorized as a bad guy, and I thought about it. So if the bad guys aren't, then the bad guys are really not smart. And one of the things that we know about Braca is that he's smart. So this feels like an attack that would come from him.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. Like, I know it's
sure.
deadly, but it's really cool looking. They spent some money on that effect, and it was worth it.
Yeah, for sure. I did have. There's one of my nitpicks. The doctor says that all the holographic imagers are offline, and so the medical staff is reduced. Which we should be so far past that. We're 300 years past his mobile emitter at this point. So
yeah,
aren't
they all running on their own emitters?
Yeah.
I've thought that too, and I've heard a lot of people thinking about this, and there's a lot of different versions of headcanon out there about there's things about, the programmable matter took down programs in the ship as opposed to like this or that, or that, it's a comm badge thing, or like it's a power thing, or like, and then maybe we see that they have both what seems to be sentient and non-sentient holograms in this time. So like maybe
the next episode.
Yeah, given the next episode where we see, that the sentry guards are non-sentient holograms, like I think there's more world here that needs to be explored. Yeah. And I can hand wave it as I don't know enough about this ship in this time yet to know why, but at least God, he has a medical staff. As someone who likes to hang out with the Enterprise people and Phlox has nobody who works with him, at least the doctor has some medical staff, whether they be holographic or not. So that made me happy to hear. But yeah, I thought the same thing.
Agreed. Yeah.
And he obviously has his emitter, and he has the ability to transport with his emitter or come up other places, because later on he does that. So he's obviously still special, which I can be cool with as long as it's explained later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just being snarky too, which is, excellent. Always... give me snarky Robert Picardo and I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, and I like that if you remember in Discovery, Dr. Pollard was often snarky too. So I feel like this time period has carried on the tradition of the snarky doctor responses very well from all the way back to McCoy in the original series, right? Like, yeah. So yes. I appreciate that. It seems to be a quality that Star Trek appreciates in its doctors. And so do I. Mm-hmm. And I like how they showed everybody kind of taking care of the kids right away for this. Mm-hmm. Like that was one of the first things you see Aki say, like, do this, you get to the kids. But then it ends up being the kids that have to step up and do things for the adults as well. Both when Thok gets injured, she gets crushed by a big piece of wall or whatever it is that ends up stabbing into her, right? And we have a bunch of cadets that step up there. Caleb steps up with the not virus, but like the programmable matter the program that's going to get rid of the weapon, whatever technobabble he's
the resonance frequency thing.
Yeah. It was really nice to see that juxtaposition. And this is where I'm talking about. I feel like the show gets the tone really right, because it starts off with, the power is with the grownups, and then it flip-flops it. And it turns out that everybody comes together, and that all these different plots and all these different types of, if you're grouping the characters of the show, come together to save the day. And I really, really like that amount of balance. And you see that right here, because it's a pivot point for some of these plot lines. And I think that was really well done. It helped balance the show.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing with Jaden having to repair Thok's injuries is just, that scene is so good.
In so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she says, I'm dead. I go into battle to reclaim my life. And it's like, just, oh.
Well, and Sam being all chipper and then she finally is like, if I'm going to die here, I need you to have significantly less enthusiasm. And Sam goes, I hear you. Like, in that, there's so much characterization, but there's also a little bit of humor in this really dark moment. We see, Caleb and Durham come to physical blows when they find out why this is all happening, and Genesis step in between them. There are so many character beats in this scene, and the self-doubt that we get from Jaden about, being able to do this, and he's literally muttering out loud, don't kill your instructor on the first day, don't kill your instructor on the first day. These are moments where we get intense characterization in a very short period of time, and we start to see all these relationships developing. And it's really cool how well it's woven into everything. And then the back and forth between them and what's going on the bridge. And then we get out to the, I mean, this is well done storytelling in this part, because there's a lot going on, but you're never lost where you are, and you are learning about these people and why you care about them already. I mean, even Darum, you end up caring about, and he's been a dick the whole first half of this episode, right? And you end up caring, and you don't want him to become a frozen fish stick on the hull because you like him and he's doing the right thing, right? So
I've got it running here. The girl who swallowed her comm badge is also the one who's just standing in the hallway saying "Red alert, red alert."
Yeah.
So, I think she's supposed to just be somebody who is nervous, and
I think Tilly needs to show up and show her what's going on and resonate with her being a really awkward cadet. I think that would work for me.
Yeah. She's also the one that tells Sam in the next episode that she's too much.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a lot coming from the girl who swallowed the comm badge.
Right?
Yeah. I understand her. Okay. Like, I have no problem with her character except for that, because I understand the panic reaction. I understand, like, hey, that's a little much out of you, but we've already talked about that anyway. Yeah. So then we get Braca showing up with his holographic chickens, or origami chickens. Holograph. That would be a whole other thing. His origami chicken.
That's a great scene. I understand why that was the scene that they decided to like put out there as a promo clip. Yeah. Because like we've been talking about, those two actors just crackle all of it between them, and it shows off the bridge well. It shows that there's layers going on here. And I think it's really interesting that like this whole time we end up having Caleb who can hear all of what's going on. And that really is an interesting wrinkle on all this too. So because there's a lot of history on this ship.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, so we have they're all working together. We get Darum goes out on the hull because he's Kyonian bitch.
I think it's going to be interesting to see why he was self-conscious about being seen turning into.
Yeah, like he's fine showing what he looks like. He just doesn't want anyone to see the transition.
Scene. Yeah.
And like I would have understood it better if he'd been like without his uniform after that. You know, but
he looks kinder in his fish form. Is that what we're calling it? Like I think it's something about how they did the cheekbones. It made him look like he almost had a kind smile on the whole time, whereas he does not in his human type face.
He doesn't look smarmy at all. As a fish. Yeah.
But it does make me wonder, like, why is he choosing to present as human? There's a bazillion different aliens in the Academy. Like, but I'm sure there will be an explanation, because this show is showing me after just a couple episodes that it's not forgetting about that stuff. You just might have to wait to hear about the why later on. Like, I don't know. Is that like is it hard for him to keep that form? Is it because it can go outside? Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm ready to hear what it is. I think this is an intriguing new species.
Yeah, I wonder, is it not that he's holding a human form, but rather the human looking form is his natural form, but he can also do this form? I wonder if that's what it is.
Like an Inspector Gadget kind of thing. He can pop out like an undersea version, or he can pop out it on the space hull version. Okay, maybe not Inspector Gadget. He wasn't real bright. Thank goodness for Penny and Brain. There's a dating me generational kind of comment right there.
I remember Inspector Gadget.
I love Inspector Gadget.
Yep.
But I'm excited. I would like to see more about what, the Kyonians are like in amongst each other. There's a new species to explore. Like, I wanted to know about the Kelpians right away at the beginning of Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
And I got that throughout. So I'm hoping and assuming that they will do just as much.
Yeah. I do. Ake's character, first of all, I love the age and I don't care about any of what people might think of me that you get with the Lanthanites. That whole, like, I've done this. I'm not, I'm going to tell you to blow it out your ass. The way she does, you know.
Yes.
And I love that. And I love that she curls up in the chair. Like, she
That
just
is
makes herself
me
comfortable in the chair.
in a
Yeah, me
chair. I
too.
saw that. Like I'm a short adult, right? Like I love a big chair more than I love a couch. I will curl up in it. I will like put my legs over it. I will use it to
Hmm.
brace stuff. Like she sat down like that, and I'm like, she's me. Like she curls up in her chair, and like, of course she would. She's a tiny person. Like, and
Hmm.
I loved the physicality, and she's talked about that a bit in some of her
Yeah.
interviews, that it was important for her to play that, and especially once she got the whole barefoot thing in there, and looking at
Hmm.
Pelia, that they're all, the Lanthanites are kind of, they got a bend of hippiness in them at this point.
Yep.
So I really enjoyed that, and it made her feel like a person too, not just the captain, not just the chancellor, not just someone who's trying to redeem themselves, but a person. And I like that.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of two different sides about people thinking about how she sits in the chair, right? There's the people who
Oh,
are like,
God.
that's me. I love it. It's amazing. That's fantastic. You get that personality from her. Like she seems, to be really at home and natural and comfortable. And people like, well, in a pseudo military organization, that would be really disrespectful to people to be not. She's making people stand at attention when they're in her office, and then she's laying on her chair in the bridge. And I'm like, whatever. I like it.
Yeah,
Benefits of command.
I've seen a couple people that like really hate this. Like really hate this.
Are they tall?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it makes a difference when you sit in a chair if your feet don't touch the ground. And I know she
Yeah.
adjusted it. I know she did her comfort settings, but like I don't know. I would be interested. That would be a funny correlation, or how tall you are and how much you hate that scene.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I think she's doing a
there
nice
was
blend.
there was one post somewhere where I saw, and I know some people are going to come up with excuses for this, but it's not okay. There was someone saying it's like, and the one thing I've seen from a couple of people saying people that came from military backgrounds are especially don't like this, and it's like I get that, but that's not necessarily a military anyway.
Go sit in the war college if you want that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and I've seen, and I think we're going to continue to see a lot of people comparing and contrasting Ake to Janeway, especially since Holly Hunter is saying that she took some of her inspiration from Janeway, but she's not. And but you do already see her here in a captainy type role, in a chancellor type role, in a mothering type role, in a an adversary type role. All of that in this first episode, episodes, if you want to go into the second one even more so, right?
Hmm.
This is a full picture, and she is not Janeway, but the fact that she is a woman leading this bridge is going to have a lot of comparisons out there. And I think that's another reason why her sitting like that, her putting down her glasses, her being barefoot, all of those things are to establish her as her own captain. And just because you are a female and you might have nurturing instincts does not mean that you are the same.
Yeah.
So just going to throw that out there.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
So she gets Braca off the ship.
When the alert goes off, Braca says, "What in deviled egg hell?"
I know. He has so many of those wonderful, like, almost curses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that's going to be just as quotable as Lower Decks.
Resonates with we Midwesterners, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, right. So when they have Braca in the corridor where he's whistling, I was so glad because in the trailer he was whistling the Trek theme, and I was like, okay, I know we did that with Boimler, but that was Lower Decks,
right?
And that's different, and I'm glad that was just for the trailer.
I am also just because that was another whole thing on the internet when it happened. There were anyway.
I do wonder if maybe he was supposed to do it and there was such a backlash that they changed it before they pushed it out, or if it was always just meant to do the same thing that the poster was. Guess what? People were talking about your show and they were waiting to come on and hate watch it, and it wasn't what you thought it was.
My guess is by the time that trailer came out, they had already completed the episodes entirely. I doubt they went back and edited anything at that point.
Well, dropping
way,
in whistling would be pretty easy audio because you don't have to
Yeah.
match.
That's true.
But at the same time, I think you're right. I think it was a marketing ploy.
And it worked. Look
Yeah.
at how many people talked about it. Again, this is why that person at Paramount who did something you didn't like isn't going to get fired because you talked about it. A lot.
No publicity is bad publicity.
Well,
Well,
not
it's
with those
explaining them,
guys.
right?
But I love that they use the training module. Like, that is smart. That is a great idea. That is a benefit of having a ship that can do stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it also, if Braca had completely fallen for it and not beamed himself back on after, we wouldn't have respected him as much. So he got his people off, right? But then he came back. Like, he said he could smell a lie, whatever. It gave him the showdown with Caleb. Fantastic. But I like that they used it enough that it could be plausible, but not enough that he fully believed it. It was great on both ends of that ploy.
Yep.
And I like that Becky Lynch, I can't remember her name, that it's at the one syllable.
Yeah.
There we go. She was, when she said, "Oh, you'll run this simulation," she goes, "That's
a
fun
good one."
Yeah,
That's the fun one, I think.
Yeah, the fun one. I'm like, oh, the warp core breach is the fun one. Okay, tells you something about her right away.
Yes. So they managed to destroy the ship, but Nus Braca escapes in an escape pod
with a sarcastic Vulcan salute on the door.
Hell yeah.
That was fantastic. And you get close-ups of all of like the hand jewelry he's wearing, which like it's just so well done, and it makes him menacing in a different way, because you think about that fight he had with Caleb, which was intense, right? And that's where he drops that little nugget that he's a Klingerite, right? Which we knew because we read the bios because we're dorks. But for other people who just watch the show, and when you see him taunt Caleb with his mother, and that's what just springs him into action, that is, I don't like fight scenes and I don't like watching people get beat, but when you think about how brutal that was and how we know how big and how tough Caleb is, and to see him get just the floor wiped with him when Braca goes after him, and knowing that he's wearing all that hand jewelry, so every punch he lands has all that metal behind it as well, like, whew, no wonder he's sitting slumped against the wall when this is all done. I mean, and I don't care how used to getting the snot kicked out of him he is, that this was a tough one, right? Like, and the fact that, but he ends up using Braca's face to run the program, and Braca respects it enough to be like, yeah, well done, right? Like, these are smart people, and I like, if we're going to see a brutal fight, at least make it smart, and they did.
Yeah.
I do wonder though about how when they blow up that ship and that's the teachable moment, like that was one of the things that bumped out at me. Like, really, it's a teachable moment that you blow up and that wasn't the lesson I wanted here.
Yeah,
but that's bothered me because this is where I realized that this is probably not, that wasn't the name of the ship, that and what we heard the next episode, because it just seems like. You know what? I lost my train of thought mid-sentence there. You can take that part out. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't like that that's a teachable moment. It doesn't feel very Starfleet to me, but it does feel very post-burn.
Yes.
So...
Well, and I think we're seeing a lot of things like that being addressed, that things post-burn are different, and that we're seeing people have to settle in and realize that this is not the burn anymore. We are coming together in different ways. And I hope that's something they continue to address. Yeah. I think that's something that we need to see addressed these days.
I'm wondering how many people he had on that ship. And I'm wondering, we don't know anything about him, about his personal relationships, about, did he have anybody he cares about on that ship? There's a lot more potential damage there than
just bad
could have been done by just, tractoring them back to Earth.
So now that they've managed to escape, they arrive at Earth.
Yes.
This is the part where my heart filled up.
And we get a great rendition of If You're Going to San Francisco, which I just, I loved this. This was excellent pairing.
And haunting and beautiful. and moving and goosebumps and full heart and full eyes and all that. This was the moment. This was the ship shot of this episode. This was establishing. This was glorious. And I love how Genesis came up and hugged Sam's arm as they're landing. Like and said that we're home. Like, oh yes, we are. Like, I'm tearing up now because it's just beautiful.
Yep. So I had to look that up because I knew that song was is very much associated with the hippie movement.
Oh yeah.
It was written in '67, and it was actually written with the intent to calm down the authorities of Monterey, California, about the influx of hippies. That's why it's so emphasizes.
That makes sense.
You'll meet
That's
nice
why it goes
people
about
there.
the gentle people. Yeah.
Gentle, yeah. And this prompted my first ever Wikipedia edit because they had not yet added that this song was in the show, in the little thing where it talks about use in popular culture. So
nice.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Don't know
Good
if it's
job.
still there, but
Nice.
we shall see.
Well, and as you two know, but for everyone listening to this, the soundtrack is 100% out already, which is beautiful. And this rendition is, I believe, the first or the second track on it. And it's just as good listening to it off, not watching the scene with it. It is going to be hauntingly living in my brain in moving moments from now on. And the rest of the soundtrack is really good too. So go out there, get it, support Trek music.
I like the soundtrack. But we'll talk more about that next week, or in the not next week, in the next episode. Now that we're here on Earth, Caleb has to face some music for what he did here.
But I like how it's another one of those kind of discovery moments. Reasons matter. That he did all this stuff, but he did it to save people and to he showed potential, and that selflessness, and that is important. Reasons matter, and that is a very post-burn kind of thing that Discovery was doing, and that I'm glad they're doing it here too, showing nobody, no rule is a monolith. Nothing can be fully understood without the context. So it was nice, and it was a nice moment here between them, and I'm glad that right away they had the exchange about her son, and Caleb says to her, "I'm not him," and she says, "I'm aware." Like, that was because that could be something that people just cannot let go of, but they already addressed it, and it's right here, and they both know that this might feel like this type of relationship, but we both understand that it's not, and that's again something really foundational to the series.
Yeah, so they have the agreement, and he's gonna stick around, and we have
He's still
started
not
the
entirely
series.
sure. Sorry.
And that makes sense. Of course, he's not sure. Why would he be?
Yeah. It's a big change. But it ends on a nice, hopeful note, this first episode, right? It ends on momentum of moving forward, of pulling the people together who are going to be the core here, but yet giving you so much excitement for what's coming next. So I like this. This was a good premiere for me. It hit a lot of the right notes. I think it felt very balanced. I think that it got us excited about the right kind of stuff, and it had a little bit of what everybody wanted, a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of action, a little bit of humor, a little bit of romance. Like, there was just a little bit of everything. So I am glad that this was what they pushed out for the first episode. I am glad this is what people can watch for free on YouTube for a while, because I think it's a really good representation of what I'm hoping this entire series will be.
Agreed.
I think it's my favorite premiere of the Kurtzman era of Star Trek.
Yeah,
it's definitely up there.
I mean, obviously recency bias is a thing,
right?
But...
Yeah. Strange New Worlds was a tough one because it felt like it was just, you kind of just popped into it, because it almost felt like the premiere of Strange New Worlds was when Pike showed up on Enterprise, so it wasn't, or on Discovery, excuse me. So
I can see that. Yeah.
And I mean, Discovery was Discovery. It was.
And I don't think, to be clear, I don't think any of the premieres of the Kurtzman shows have been bad.
Oh, understood. Yeah.
In fact, the premiere of Picard was better than a lot of the rest of Picard.
All right, but what about the animated shows? What about the premieres of Prodigy and Lower Decks?
Lower Decks, though.
I know.
Lower Decks had a great premiere. Prodigy had a good premiere.
Yeah, exactly. So I will wait.
Stranger Worlds had a good premiere, but I think this one is better than the others. And I also like Discovery's premiere.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it is.
Now I do think that the third episode, which is really the premiere of like the show as it is now, as it is better than the than the 2-episode premiere of Discovery. But I did enjoy the premiere.
Oh, that's what happens when they ask for more episodes, and you have to kind of cut it in.
Jiggle. But it was good. It was like reading the prologue to a book and getting into it, right? And I think I always say I don't ever want to judge a show or a season until I've seen the whole thing, because I feel like there are a lot of things that get set up that if they come to fruition, you're really happy later on. And like I think of The Broken Circle in Stranger Worlds season 2, right? It was not my favorite when it first came out, but after watching the rest of that season and then going back and watching that episode, it's so much more, and there's more layers and there's more connection, and I liked it so much better because of what I learned later on. So I will say right now, it is definitely one of my favorite premieres of modern Trek. And I will wait and see when the season is done and come back and give myself the full picture to it before I can say that it is very much my favorite, but it is definitely up there. It is one of the best premieres. And I would even say of all of Trek, it really laid good groundwork. And it's fun. Like, I want to watch it again. And I've watched it 4 times. We can all agree
it was better than Section 31.
That is a low bar, sir. You dug a trench to put that bar in for us to step over. Just say it.
A worm could step over that. Oh, God, that's terrible.
We did it. We made it through this episode.
Woohoo. I've got to do another one.
I think that's pretty much all we have to say about kids these days. Well, I don't know. We're all getting older now. We have lots to say about kids these days.
I do.
Abby, thank you so much for joining us for this discussion. Where can our listeners find you online? Do you have any work you want to mention?
I am online mostly at Blue Sky personally. You can find me at Abby M. Sommer. That's Sommer, not like the season. And I have a pod myself, and I do the pod First Flight with my wonderful co-host Chris. We are an Enterprise rewatch podcast, among other things. Primarily, we're rewatching Enterprise, but right now we are about a third of the way through season 4, so we're into some really good juicy ones and some mini arcs here that are super fun. But we also drop in reactions to new Star Trek, and we do a little monthly thing where we watch episodes or listen to pieces of music. So if you want to hear me talk more about Trek, go find us there. We are everywhere on all the socials at First Flight Pod.
And Chrissie, where can people find you when you're not swallowing your comm badge?
You know,
never.
I have a set of earrings that are comm badges that might be small enough to do that without noticing it, but I really don't understand
I do too.
How. That's going to be, that's going to be my complaint about something that doesn't really matter in this show. So you're right. In addition to an Infinite Diversity, you can find Men History with the Szilagyi. We're back finally and hopefully going forward. I dropped one last week on the Battle of Los Angeles, which a lot of people who are into UFOs think was a UFO that went over LA during World War II, but it really wasn't. And then Jay's going to be dropping either he's going to do it long form or he's going to do a series on the background of what's going on in Iran right now. So you can look forward to that.
Yeah.
So there's, History with the Szilagyi. And then I also, over the break, because, why would I not have worked for myself, started a Substack. It is called Food, Sex, and Power, which is going to be about various motivations in human history. And I think I have 1.5 up there yet. So, if you're interested in that type of thing, it's going to be little short form essays. Go ahead and subscribe up there.
I subscribed, but I didn't pay. So if you're going to do premium stuff, I won't see it.
That's all right. I don't have any paid subscribers yet. I appreciate I appreciate any regular subscribers. If you can pay, that's awesome. But I You know what? This is...
Yeah, I'm not telling any people
No.
not to pay. I'm just saying I
Totally,
did.
and I wouldn't expect you to.
I subscribe but
that's
don't
fine.
pay either, so don't
And I
feel
wouldn't
bad.
expect you to.
But I was excited to see it.
No, what this was I've been wanting to do this as a book for a long time, and I was just like, you know what? Instead of having it sitting in a notebook, put it on Substack.
And hey, maybe people will pay, and then you can, become a published author.
Yeah, there's such a thing as a blog book. It's a book, right? And you go from blog to a book, so...
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, so Food, Sex, and Power on Substack. Maybe not as exciting as the title sounds, but that's okay. Anyway, and I'm on the socials as the Goddess Livia. That's TheGoddessLivia, mainly Blue Sky, a little bit on Threads, a little bit elsewhere. So, Thad, where can people find you when you're not folding up origami chickens?
Best place to find my socials and my podcast is to go to tyrannicus.net. That's tyranicus.net, where I have links to everything. And you can hear me on the podcast I do with my friend Carl called License to Spiel. That's license spelled with a C, like the British do it, where we started out talking about James Bond and through a roundabout way are now going through every episode of Columbo.
I love it. Love it. Don't forget all of our other great shows here on the BQN. Here's a recording of Amy to tell you all about them.
What's happening on BQN, you ask? We're not just a network. We're a universe of exploration, entertainment, and deep dives into the topics you love. Here's your star map to the sonic adventures awaiting you. Let's chart the Star Trek cosmos with all good things. Embark on a comprehensive journey through the entire Star Trek universe with the insightful crew of Amy, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. From classic to current, they cover it all. Galaxy class, engage! Stephen and Stefan pilots this Alpha Quadrant mission, meticulously covering all aspects of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Infinite diversity. Stay current with the newest Star Trek frontiers alongside Chrissie and Thad. Union Federation. Whether your allegiance lies with Starfleet or the Planetary Union, Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley offer a unified front, discussing both current Star Trek and the truly Trek at heart, the Orville. Crack open that book with Peter and the Trek Book Club podcast. Delve into a rich tapestry of Star Trek's beta canon. What's the tea, Bev? Christos spills the latest Trek news and fandom insights with an essential LGBTQIA+ perspective, complete with engaging guest interviews. Our visual voyages that you can find on YouTube as well as podcasts are Trek Masters. Think you're a Starfleet Academy graduate? Test your knowledge with Davey and MC's challenging Star Trek quiz show. And the View Screen. Tune in live on Sundays for your dose of a Trek-inspired talk show. Kelvin and Amy host new 8-week seasons each spring and fall. But beyond the final frontier, we have Bargain Bin Gamer. Davey and Mitch, your self-proclaimed gamer guides, lead you to digital treasures, unearthing and reviewing the most affordable video game gems. Cinema Z. Grab your metaphorical popcorn for Mark and Matt's cinematic deep dives, unearthing overlooked films that demand your attention. History with the Szilagys. In order to never repeat it, tune in as Chrissie and Jason deliver bite-sized snippets of historical events from around the globe and transformational journeys. Host Lex Rosa explores what it means to embrace authenticity in the face of societal expectations. You can unlock deeper levels of engagement with our exclusive patron perks. The Hive Mind is where you can join our random script readings, live reaction shows, and roundtable discussions. You can also now watch All Good Things as an extended video edit and get a background look into the creation of a podcast. Also, check out our back catalog of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Stay connected to our ever-expanding galaxy of content by following BQN Podcasts on Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Discord. We appreciate you choosing BQN to fill your auditory needs. Thank you for listening. Assimilate the audio.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Infinite Diversity. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Mark White for the awesome show art. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast player, and don't forget to rate and review us there as well.
If you'd like to reach out, you can find the network on the socials at BQN Podcast or our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of our BQN podcasts in the Facebook group, the BQN Collective, and join our Discord server. When you next hear from us, we'll be talking about the second episode of Starfleet Academy, Beta Test. Until then, we bid you peace and long life.
I'm reminded of when I was in third grade, and bear in mind I was in a Baptist elementary school, and the teacher told us that we needed to stop saying "oh my gosh" because "gosh" was clearly just a replacement for God, and we were taking the Lord's name in vain when we said "oh my gosh," and we needed to say something that didn't sound like God.
I got that in Catholic school too.
Nope.
No. Anyway.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're.
Just bring back childhood trauma. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, that's. I mean, what else is this for? This Star Trek and everything that we're doing. Childhood trauma, current trauma, potential future trauma.
And now, as an aside that I'm probably not going to include in the episode, I want to mention something that really annoyed me on the internet.